Into March we go. It's the real K&C. Ken Laird here.
Chris Curtis.
Big breaking news on the Wednesday show with Trenni Kusneric in, of course, today.
All right, here it is. Adam Schefter, 2 minutes ago, per sources, at Trenni has agreed to date at Crazy Albert from RI. That's weird.
That is not
He's
the
weighing
big
in on
news.
that?
Albert from Rhode Island, headed for divorce 6 months in. Albert, what the fuck?
Albert, how is married life?
Horrible. It's horrible. Yeah, it's not going well at all.
What?
Wait a second.
Whoa,
You
whoa,
what?
whoa,
Wait,
hold on.
what?
She left you already, really?
She's thinking about it.
The guy has an electric personality.
So boring. Your
Listen,
parents were
how do you
boring.
like
They had
numbers?
sex and had a boring baby.
He only has one massive growth on his face.
That was the best part of the Albert appearance today, which was, what time today? About 8:15-ish, 8:20-ish. He asked Jerry how he looked in studio. He wanted, like, Jerry's feedback on his appearance, how he would do in the single market.
What do you think? I was on your set. You saw me talk to me. Do you think I would have anything lined up?
Yes,
I
I don't think
great.
you're
But
hideously
he has the
ugly
worst
man.
personality of any human being
But
who's ever
you're-
lived.
It's cute.
Well, Jerry's great at love advice. He always says, get a dog and go to yoga. So maybe Albert can do those two things. And I just thought it was, first of all, I think Albert had more airtime on his phone call today than when he was in studio. I think like a 9-minute phone call from Albert today.
Yeah, how'd you feel about that? How did management feel about it?
Oh, they loved it. They loved it. I just had my performance review. They want Albert in tomorrow and next Tuesday.
Ken Obrey from Boston, bro.
Did we come to a conclusion? Is Trenni going to date Albert? Is that going to happen or no?
We could get somebody to film it. Trenni and Albert
No.
go on a date. Is that
No,
too much to ask
that
for the
is
show?
too much
not,
to ask
Trenni? You
for
can
the
talk-
show.
Why?
I think Jerry just wants another free meal at Aria because he mentions it every 3 seconds whenever we get into these topics.
Anywhere you want. What's your favorite
Patriots.
restaurant?
I got lots of favorite restaurants.
I know what it is. I forget
Aria.
the name of it.
Aria is one of my
We know,
favorites.
Jerry. We know.
I give it about 5% chance of succeeding.
Actually, the big breaking news today, of course, was that Jimmy Garoppolo was expected to stay. Not that he's going to stay, which led to a whole other tentacle of events, including not getting Adam Schefter on during the show, which made Kirk happy.
We're not getting Adam Schefter, Chris?
Oh, he loved that.
It's not your fault. We thought he was going to be able to come on. He told you he might be able to.
Well, I figured he'd do a hit on SportsCenter and then have a minute or two, but I guess he was taping a lot of segments for the Combine after the live spots, so he actually got free right at 10:15. So our good friends in the midday were able to scoop in.
Again, I want to be very clear.
Okay.
They really like to play.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And grab Adam Schefter. You can listen to that online, and I'm sure we'll play some of it tomorrow. But
Good Pats talk, I would say, from us at 9, though. If you wanted just some Sporty McKenzie, Brady, Jimmy G Future, 9 o'clock today.
The Schefter story, based on the tweet, says New England plans to keep Garoppolo on for 2017 and very possibly beyond.
But he's never, ever going to sign if he's not starting.
Well, that's when you begin to wonder. And I do think Belichick looks at Garoppolo and says this guy could be a Pro Bowl quarterback for 10 years. 10 years from now, Tom Brady's going to be 50. If
Belichick
Brady's 32,
thinks he's a
it's
puss.
If
He
Brady's
didn't play
30,
hurt.
no, he doesn't.
Probably this carries over into tomorrow based on all the reaction here in the next news cycle, which means you had to bump Evan Drellick. Jesus, cold-hearted.
That's pathetic.
so Evan Drellick was booked tomorrow, 8 to 10, and
Was he excited to be coming on the show?
He was so excited he bumped his flight a day early. He's flying back from Fort Myers a day early to not do the show tomorrow.
You cherry pick everything.
But it's the right call. We can't, And the other thing is knowing Jerry and Kirk, if he's in on a day where they're already not into it and there's not really anything baseball related that we can get into organically,
Yeah, it's better for you
then
not
it's
to be
doomed
here.
to fail,
Yes,
and then
yes,
it's
yes.
like it's over before it starts.
Right.
Pedroia, hit a bomb. It's third of the season.
This is better for Evan in the long run. Get him in on a day where there's not a major news story that he can't really relate to, and then see if it goes well with him. So tomorrow will just be Kirk and Jerry.
Kirk and Jerry, where I feel like not only the first by like months on the Jimmy G Future discussion. We were hammering this in September, going back to August, because you could see it coming. This is a huge decision
What's a huge package?
for the franchise. Just the two of them on their own, that's all they need to handle this topic tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely. This was, the start of the fall. I mean, if you go back to second quarter against the Dolphins in week 2,
Yeah.
I mean, we're sitting there like, holy shit, Jimmy G's on Monday. This is going to be a real thing. He's throwing 3 touchdown passes. Looked as good as you could really look at quarterback.
Garoppolo is a star.
And then he gets injured, and Josh McDaniels replaces him as a weekly guest, and that kind of dissipated it for a while.
Josh McDaniels joins the show.
But no, it's Jerry and Kirk, as I always say, good weekend. Disagree with Albert when it comes to major sports stories. there is nobody better than breaking it as it happens.
And I'm sure we'll get into some NHL trade deadline talk tomorrow, too. Jerry did give me his special gift of the 1972 Bruins highlights on vinyl. Awesome.
Brought another baby gift for Kenny today.
What'd you bring?
With the highlights of the big bad Bruins in
Oh,
1972.
this candy here. Look at
The
this.
event.
I just have to find somewhere a round table to put it into.
I don't think Jerry's going to want that back. I just got into the office. It was a little sticky, a little gross. I don't know whether Rear's back in town or that was you.
The Rear Admiral nickname, what does that mean?
But it was 6 to midnight moment.
We may just replay that whole album at 7 o'clock on Saturday Skate. We're up against the Bruins game anyway for a half an hour for no reason at all. So I may just play the album.
How many hours do the Bruins play live action this weekend?
2.5, I guess.
2.5 on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And our Bruins coverage, exclusive hockey show.
Well, brilliant. Or the lead-in from 6 to 7. And then we've got a bonus half hour up against the game, in case you don't want to watch the first half hour of the game, on our sister station, 98.5.
Much respect to them. They do a great job.
You, DJ Bean, and Ty Anderson?
Ty's got to be at the game, so it's just me and DJ.
I don't like the way that they handled the Charlotte thing. You can criticize that story if you want. There's the knowledge that when you sick the DNC listeners on people, they can be pretty
ruthless. Nobody was sick
ruthless.
on her. And Jerry's record, I think, will probably be...
So 7 to 7:30 will be the 72 Bruins record.
Yes.
And
highlights, interviews.
Charlotte Wilder talk.
Yeah, we'll talk a little Charlotte.
They trashed the story. They trashed her. And then when she didn't want to come on the show, which I think was a good move on her part.
Terrible move.
They doubled down.
We had a first segment that took Kirk 2 minutes to bring the hammer down on SRZ.
SRZ, Swipe Right Zarbano.
Our fearless program director. You and I got a couple of texts from management. I was in kind of a mood yesterday. I don't know. I was surly. I was on low sleep. Probably a bad excuse.
Well, you were as angry as I've ever seen you, which is saying
as
something.
Angry as ever?
Yeah, because I never see you mad.
I was just rattled yesterday.
I'm also going to go into Phil Zachary's office and get a new producer. Sorry, I know you like Ken, but that is a total weasel. That's a bad...
No, why?
That's
Anyway, I showed Jerry the text. And then Jerry told Kirk about the text. They didn't like the sports drop that I threw in.
But the SPORTS?
Yeah,
why not?
Legitimate sports talk we were getting into, and it didn't need to be mocking that. Was I think the message?
Why? Who? That's Joe Zarbano?
Yes.
Okay, he can shut up. Okay, seriously. I mean, really.
I told you not to tell him.
Why is he? Did you say that?
I don't know if I expected Jerry not to tell Kirk, but he did anyway.
If he puts his goddamn face in the office today, it's going to be an issue.
It's too early to lose it.
It was not perfect timing with the performance review you and I had after the show, but that's
this morning it's 4:30. We're talking about the show. We're just like, oh god, what a day for this to just sort of go up against. Have the text because we knew they were going to be discussed. Kirk sent a text yesterday, and I confirmed that the texts were real.
Did you say, Joey? Why don't you look at the ratings and fix the other two shows first? Did that come up conversationally?
No, it did not.
I'll talk to him. The boss will talk to Joe Zarbano after the show.
So I didn't expect it at 6:03. I thought maybe first segment, but Kirk was in a mood right out of the gate.
Kirk was just kind of in a mood generally today. He and Jerry, Kirk took his headphones out of the plug at one point. Where was that? He was ready to walk out after what? That was spring training John Farrell talk, I think. Was that Red Sox talk? He was ready to leave?
Red Sox talk. Well, there was another. Kirk got mad at Jerry in the first segment of the show today because they were talking about Joe Mixon and how Kirk always brings up that there's a videotape.
Right.
And Kirk was just in no mood. He's like,
yeah, you can't.
Go ahead, Kirk. This is when you talk about video because you're right.
Oh,
Video.
now we'll talk about it.
Well, it's not only video, but it's a different era.
No, it's video. It's video.
I won't talk about it. You handle it.
Oh, God. You're a little baby. I'm just saying. I'm giving you.
Okay, and I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, don't.
Good.
But you know what? The difference is video.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just like Ray Rice.
Awesome. Wish there was video in the hallways around here.
Okay. Okay, fine. I don't care about it. I don't care. I don't want to talk about it. And Jerry got, he was using the voice for Kirk. So also today, Andy from the afternoon got saved big time.
Oh, big league.
Bigly by Adam Schefter's scoop on Jimmy Garoppolo because his promos, you can confirm this, run longer than anybody else's.
They're 35 seconds every day. I keep telling Ben, just tell Andy, cut him down a little bit.
Dale and Holly with Rich Keefe.
These spots are not inventory. We don't get anything for them. They're just promoting the other show.
Yes.
So the longer they are, the less airtime we have.
I don't look at them and say, man, I really hope that they buy. I hope they give up some of their young guys or I hope they give up some draft picks like they did last year.
They sound better shorter. When they drone on and ramble on, they just don't sound good.
When we go to every break, Kirk and Jerry hear these, and when they drone on or they talk about boring shit.
In order to try to make a run into the playoffs, I just have flashbacks to last year. Like, I don't want them to trade for Elise Stempniak.
I wouldn't mind seeing them make some kind of a move.
It's the audio equivalent of where the eyes are peeled back open in the Kubrick movie. What's the Clockwork Orange, where the guy's like staring at the screen? A movie reference. I don't know. Have you seen Clockwork Orange?
I have not.
Well, the guy's eyelids are taped open, and he's forced to watch these horrific images. Kirk and Jerry, this is like their worst nightmare. They're sitting there. They're forced to listen to 30 seconds of audio from Dale and Holly.
I don't want to trade first-round draft picks.
Absolutely not.
And the reactions are predictable.
It's also good because it energizes them in a negative way, but energy nonetheless. And so we were ready to come out.
Oh, the hammer and the sickle were ready to come down on Andy.
With the promo, and Kirk was ready to lose it. As I am telling our intern Aaron to roll it in, I walk into the studio, and Kirk's like, "Oh, we got breaking news." I was like, "Oh, well, there that went." So
what's left?
Yeah, I was going to say,
don't
want to do anything.
The question is, are you now Danny?
Saved by Adam Schefter.
Pretty good Trenni performance, though, today, wouldn't you say? She's become almost you can count on a solid show, I feel like, when she's in. She's a good counter for them all.
Yeah, I think it's gotten to the point where, in a good way, you almost don't notice her. Like, she's there, she has opinions, but she almost feels like part of the show when she's there. You don't really, sometimes with Reamer or with whoever else, they'll say something so outlandish or out of place, but when she's in, it just sort of the three of them talking, which is good.
Other things we hit on today, of course, a lot of politics, the big political review. The former Kentucky governor stole the show at about 7:45 today with this.
Mr. Bashir.
I'm a proud Democrat, but first and foremost, I'm a proud Republican and Democrat and mostly American. And like many of you, I am worried about the future of this nation.
Oh, God.
I am a proud libertarian. I'm also a proud Democrat and Republican. Green Party member.
Is that his name?
Yeah, Bashir.
Oh, my God. That was great. The classic sitting at like a diner.
That was embarrassing. It is embarrassing today to be a Democrat, I have to say. I feel bad for...
I'm a proud Democrat, but first and foremost, I'm a proud Republican.
Now, you and I have been scaled back to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The real KNC podcast going forward, at least temporarily, is down to 3 days a week. There's been a lot of debate as to how this happened. What's your perspective on this?
Well, first of all, I feel a little bit like Minahan that I was somewhat out of the loop on this because this was the discussions for this began when I was in Florida.
Ben Kitchen approached me, our executive producer, podcast guru. He runs Kirk's Enough About Me podcast. And he brought the idea up, we want to bring you guys back to 3 days a week. He had a multitude of reasons, but none of them really stuck as the real driving. I don't really know why they wanted us to go backwards.
Yeah, so
I think it's part like studio availability. It's part keeping Kirk's podcast on its own on Thursday. It's part giving the real show itself room to breathe. And in other words, people maybe will not listen to the whole 4 hours of our show if they know they can get our fantastic review. And I don't know. Some of that may have merit. Regardless, it's bad communication again.
Right. So the worst thing you can do on this show is have Kirk not be the first to know something. And so if you put that on top of all the other shit that was bothering Kirk today, this popped up in the show, and he was not happy that he was not informed of these discussions prior to this morning.
Tell me why. I don't mind when things are done, but there has to be a reason. Why?
In my opinion, I think we're still going to do it if there's something to talk about. I don't think, as long as it's okay with you, if there's a big show like a Drellick moment or something pops up on Tuesday or Thursday, we'll still do something. But I do feel that this is something that Jerry was right. I sit here and grunt. You put 2 hours of work into these.
It sounds like you put a lot of effort into it. It sounds like Curtis just sits there and grunts, but you
Right.
put a lot of effort into it.
You have a little Maya at home, 2-week-old, and
Yep.
you have beds to build and
a DVR hockey to watch.
And you're where are you? Second quarter of the Super Bowl?
Still the second quarter, yeah.
Gets good. So you got to catch up on the Super Bowl, and I think it works. I think this way, it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Every time we do it, it will be good. It won't be unplugged.
That's a lie.
It's a good, happy medium.
Okay, good. So because of that, we didn't do one Tuesday. If you're looking for the Tuesday recap, let's reflect back a day. We had Jerry by himself. Well, Jerry with no Kirk. Pete and Alex were in on the Tuesday edition of the show. And even Alex said this coming off the air after the first segment. He felt like they may have blown a whole load in the first segment. I mean, it was feisty right out of the gate.
Yeah, women have never been objectified on talk radio before.
you
It's
don't-
never
not-
happened in the history of this
Not with
station.
stories
You
like
don't
that
agree
by
with that?
me.
And then we got into Celtics talk.
It's like, I've never seen a fan base in my life really not care if this particular group of Celtics in this town gets out of the first round. I don't understand it.
God love Pete, but at around 5:20 yesterday morning, he's in the studio. He prepares the studio. Everybody else is in the office. Pete just plops himself in the studio.
Hey, Tom, Pete Shepard, long time. How you doing?
Hi, Pete.
I respect that.
Yeah, it's fine. I think, but then our whole hallway reeks of his cologne.
God, what is the cologne? Is it Jacquard Noir? Or
bathes in Aqua Velva. I don't know. But so I get in there. He's like, "Oh, I got the Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball.
It's an embarrassment."
And he's screaming at it. He's like, "It's popping. It's popping. We got to talk Lonzo Ball." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I told the intern to grab the sound." I'm like, "Okay, thanks, Pete." He's like, "Yeah, we should really do Celtics. I got full bank phone lines. We're good."
The ratings have been better since I've been on the
They have.
not just the show, but the station. That's fact.
There wasn't usually the Minahan buffer because Jerry's nice to Pete. Like, he's not going to be like, "Pete, that's an idiotic thing to do." Like, it's not really.
No, Pete amuses Jerry. He likes his madness.
Right. So we got into it for a
and
bit.
every now and then, Jerry doesn't mind going heavy sports on a day, because it almost to him, I think, proves what we do on every other day correct.
Right. And I think Jerry viewed yesterday's show as chaotic but good.
Yeah.
That it wasn't going to be that prototypical Gary Tangway radio guy.
Yeah, for the most part. We got back into Pete's high school wrestling or high school sports endeavors and country music for a segment, which probably wasn't the best radio. But
on my trip, I brought all my Kenny Chesney CDs.
Oh, jeez. I saw him in
And
concert for 2 seconds at Mohegan Sun about 5 years ago.
So anyway, Pete was trying to get into the sporty stuff. Didn't work. Reamer actually tried to revisit some of the fireworks from the first segment by bringing up the Grey Goose story.
Yeah.
Which Pete was not happy with.
Oh, you got a penis and vagina rant that he went on to.
So I have a better grasp of why you want to go from a vagina to a penis overnight.
Oh, man, because Pete's still harping on Reamer being enabled and all this stuff.
Like you're from Mr. Rogers or something. Go talk to the trolley.
But I wish that Pete would really say how he feels about all of the members of the casting couch. Because I've heard a rant
He's got
before.
a little filter on, yeah.
He's got a filter.
Which you can understand is his history of the station.
And we saw what Big Show and Filter did not too well. So maybe the filter does work. But, he hates Trenni, absolutely thinks she sucks, thinks Reamer is incompetent, thinks he and Thornton do the best show on radio.
Me and my boy Jerry Thornton, one of the best shows on this radio station by far, and everybody knows it.
And believes
Probably
truly
true.
that the ratings are up at WEEI because of his return. If a little more of that would be better than Lonzo Ball talk, in my opinion. But Pete was pretty good yesterday.
Well, one thing it proves, it's better to be crazy.
I'd rather be crazy and smart as opposed to stupid and not crazy.
It's better to be a little bit off, which Pete is. That's part of his endearing quality. That's why Drellick is going to get back on the show eventually.
Get over yourself.
And that's why Christian Arcand perhaps hasn't been back recently, but you got a text from Arcand. I like to hear this, that he wants back in. So, see, they want guys that are hungry and a little bit off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a text yesterday from Christian saying, hey, any reason why I haven't been on lately? I thought things went pretty well. And I was like, good to hear from you. Told him, honestly, that we've been, Pete's sort of been fighting with Keefe, been going at Reamer. And
yeah, we're going to go with what's hot.
He just hasn't been hot. Plus, being in Fort Myers and Houston hasn't really helped. But, we'd contact him down the line. And I said, if you haven't been on, keep reaching out. Because he even admitted that he should be reaching out more. So that's good. So having a little bit of desire to be on the number one show on the market is a good thing.
Good. Maybe get a return of the Candyman down the road. All right, but for tomorrow, as of now, just Kirk and Jerry. Quite a bit of Pat's talk tomorrow with the developing quarterback situation. Friday, Mutt is back in.
I hope to win him back. I want to work my butt off.
The Mutt Man is back on Friday.
Some concern going forward about Mutt's availability on Fridays, but maybe we shouldn't go down that road too far, or Kirk will lose his mind.
I honestly just don't understand it. I don't know why you would ever prioritize the in-game Brewers highlights.
Hey, bang on this.
Hey, bang on this.
I think it's a smart move, and I think that we should be happy with whoever works on Fridays. But yes, we could bang on that, but I think that there is a simmering bone of contention between our show and management regarding Mutt's role in the baseball season. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Appreciate your diligent work today.
Appreciate the phone call.
We have 3 o'clock trade deadline, 4 o'clock franchise tag deadline, so there's a lot to get to. You want to just get out there and get your pens and pencils ready?
I'll get working on it, and Landeskog, I think, is coming here. I think the Bruins are going to send a third-rounder and Krejci.
I had a dream last night about Krejci. I don't know if you're aware.
I had a dream last night that the Bruins traded Krejci.
See you, Tony.
See you.
You know that off-site location for data storage and retrieval they call the cloud?
It's a pretty apt name when you think about it. Ask this guy.
I'm Mike Osgood, Director of Business Development at Ronnie DeMeo Construction.
A cloud in the sky is not solid, not stable. Same could be said for Mike's experience with the data cloud.
They weren't able to house some of our software.
Like a sky cloud, a data cloud can just dry up and disappear.
Within about 3 months, we lost mass amounts of data. There was about 12 weeks of entries that we lost.
The data cloud can really rain on your parade.
Something that would take normally about 20 minutes to process took about 3 hours.
Mike's company decided to bring their business data back down to earth and out of the rain.
Tab set us up with a local server once we determined that the cloud was not suitable.
Store, control, and protect your data locally cost-effectively with help from Tab Computer Systems. Call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, or at tabinc.com. Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.